King Charles is shunning tradition to ensure the British public is at the heart of his coronation by inviting hundreds of community heroes to witness the historic moment he is crowned. It's thought just 2,000 guests have been invited to Westminster Abbey for the May 6 service, a fraction of the 8,000 who attended the crowning of Queen Elizabeth II. And hundreds of those will be volunteers and charity workers as King Charles rips up the rulebook to create the most inclusive coronation in British history. More than 450 people who have received the British Empire Medal for their outstanding community work will be in attendance, while 400 young volunteers have been specially selected to attend a private viewing in St Margaret's Church on the Westminster Abbey grounds. It's the first time the church has hosted youngsters for a coronation. A source said, the King and Queen insisted they were part of the coronation. A lot of people are there because of the work they did during the pandemic. It's a lovely thing. The King and Queen consort have personally nominated 200 young people from the Prince's Trust, the Prince's Foundation, Barnardos, the National Literacy Trust, and Ebony Horse Club. Another 200 young people from the Scout Association, Girl Guiding UK, St John Ambulance and the National Citizen Service have been put forward by the government. Although King Charles has connections to the organisations, there is also a nod to his beloved mother Queen Elizabeth II, who was a royal patron of the Scout Association, Girl Guiding UK and Barnardos. The British Empire Medal is awarded to people who have served the local community in a hands-on way, either for a long period of time or by a shorter but highly innovative way that has made a significant difference. Don't miss. Queen found Harry's whining calls about other royals wearisome. Latest, William and Charles forced to impose new rule in meetings with Harry. Latest, Prince Harry shows risible behaviour as he delays coronation reply. Latest, Lady Louise Windsor to miss out on Charles' coronation balcony spot. Latest, among those attending are volunteers instrumental in helping communities during COVID-19 lockdowns. They include John Anderson, 72, a retired volunteer firefighter who gave 44 years of continuous service. At the beginning of the pandemic, he helped start a call center so people with COVID could get food parcels delivered to their home. He went on to set up a community food pantry in his hometown of Fraserburgh, Aberdeenshire. He was also part of the International Rescue Corps, where he was deployed to disaster zones in Turkey, Afghanistan, Nicaragua, Pakistan, Algeria, and Mozambique. He said, "It's quite a privilege because I won't see another one and I've never seen one. There's a lot more higher-up people than me, film stars, lords and ladies. To be asked is quite an honor." Frastine Jones, 60, was the first female president of the National Black Police Association and says her invitation to the coronation is the biggest recognition for her life's work to tackle racism and injustice. Ms. Jones, who has been asked to wear her medal to the service, said, "I feel so honored to get an invitation, it came right out of the blue." The grandmother, of Ipswich, Suffolk, also founded Binspired, which provides equality training, as well as coaching and mentoring for those from Black, Asian, and other ethnic minority backgrounds. She added, "To have that and the work I've done for the police, when I was president, recognized, that's the biggest recognition anyone could possibly get. And the fact that somebody felt that I was deserving of that has made me appreciate and be so grateful that I'm valued for what I bring to the table." Also in attendance will be Sahil Usman, who while battling leukemia at the age of 15, spent lockdown supporting vulnerable people. He created 300 hampers of essentials for the elderly to be delivered to those in need in his hometown of Blackburn, Lancashire. Rhys Mallows converted his Hensel Castle distillery to produce 1 million bottles of hand sanitizer at the start of the pandemic. Dawn Wood, a Marine constable with Essex Police, rode 3,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean and used her experience to raise awareness about marine plastic pollution in schools. Katrina Moffat, of North Tyneside, launched a Girl Guides group in 2012 and started the Happiness Project to alleviate loneliness in the elderly. The King has already made it clear he wishes to tone down excesses while maintaining traditional aspects of the service and procession. He has urged peers to swap scarlet velvet robes and coronets for business dress and has drastically slashed the length of the service to just over an hour, compared to the late Queen's 3-hour ceremony. In another break from tradition, the King is thought to have invited royal families from around the world to extend the hand of friendship. Leaders from all faiths will also be in attendance. In 2019, King Charles travelled to Japan with former aide Michael Fawcett to analyse how the enthronement of Emperor Naruhito was altered for a modern-day audience. During the Coronation concert on Sunday, May 8, there will be a performance by the Coronation Choir, a diverse supergroup of choirs from across the UK including NHS, deaf, LGBTQ+ and refugee singing groups. They will join the virtual choir made up of singers from across the Commonwealth. The King is also dedicating the bank holiday Monday to volunteer work, urging people to take part in the Big Help Out in their local communities, in a bid to use his coronation as a way to create a legacy. Culture Secretary Lucy Fraser said, "The British Empire Medal has for over a century been awarded to true local champions. These are people who have devoted huge amounts of their time and energy to their local areas, and it's a fitting tribute that they be front and center of a coronation ceremony that will bring the entire UK together." The coronation is a moment in history and one that will be a fantastic celebration of who we are as a country. There will be big screens, street parties and countless opportunities to volunteer, and with 1 month to go we are working to encourage as many people as possible to be part of it. Oliver Dowden, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, said, "The eyes of the world will be on the UK during the coronation, and British Empire Medal recipients will be right at the heart of the ceremony. These are people who have gone above and beyond for their local area, and who will now have the chance to represent those communities at a seminal moment in our history." There has not yet been confirmation from Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, about whether they will be in attendance. U.S. President Joe Biden this week confirmed he will not be attending, with his wife Jill representing him instead. However, the U.S. president did not attend Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953 either, with Dwight Eisenhower instead sending a delegation. Although the full guest list has not been revealed, France, Spain, Belgium, Japan, Monaco and Hungary have all confirmed they are sending representatives. "We're chuffed, surprised and pleased." Manju Malhi, services to community during COVID-19. Professional chef Manju Malhi, 55, of West London, has been a volunteer resident chef at charity Open Age since 2016. Open Age champions active lives for the over 50s in London, helping them to maintain their physical and mental fitness and develop new skills and interests. During the pandemic, Manju, who has had appearances on This Morning and BBC's Saturday Kitchen, started remote cooking classes over Zoom to keep the community spirit alive. She also partnered with Sea Change to hand out food parcels to those in need and moved her cookery classes outside at Chiswick House Botanical Gardens when people could mix again, giving diverse communities a chance to enjoy green space and pick fresh produce. She told the Daily Express, "It was such a nice surprise to receive the invitation, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I hope I can still make the street parties we're planning. Inviting volunteers to the coronation is such a game changer. This is an open coronation, it's for all of us. It's a really nice idea, bringing a sense of community and showing we are here for one another, whether you're a royal or not." King Charles is building bridges between the royal family and the community. Admitting she can't wear any old frock, Manju is having a blue broderie dress made in a 40s style using Indian cotton to represent her heritage and King Charles' birth decade. She added, "As for our street parties on the Sunday, I'll be in Uxbridge making my coronation chicken recipe and ginger and lime posset." Max Woozy, fundraising during COVID. Max Woozy, 13, became famous for sleeping in his tent in a bid to raise £100 for his local hospice during COVID, and then refusing to go back inside. It all started when his 74-year-old neighbor Rick Abbott gifted Max, then age 10, a tent before he died of cancer in March 2020. He was cared for at his home by North Devon hospice nurses, and Max wanted to give something back. Over the next 3 years, Max, of Broughton, Devon, raised more than £600,000 for the hospice, paying for 16 community nurses to support the area's very rural communities. Max also organized a worldwide campout with 2,000 children celebrating making it through a year of the pandemic in 2021. He used the anniversary to raise awareness of the struggles children went through during lockdown. In March this year he finally decided to sleep under a solid roof again, but not before a British Empire Medal and the Chief Scout Unsung Hero Award, handed to him by Bear Grylls. Anthony and Vicky Van Summeren, services to community during COVID-19. Anthony, 56, and Vicky, 48, had to shut their East London business The Bike Shed during lockdown, so used their connections to form a network of motorcyclists to provide free courier-style services to those in need. Within just a few days they had hundreds of riders up and down the country signed up to volunteer to give food, medicine and well-being checks for the vulnerable, plus PPE deliveries to small surgeries, care homes and pharmacies. Over 2 years the Bike Shed Community Response made 30,000 deliveries and pioneered a scheme where riders drove COVID tests to doctors showing symptoms and delivered them to labs, preventing NHS staff needlessly staying home when hospitals were under severe pressure. Some volunteers are carrying on the scheme in small groups where they live. Anthony told the Daily Express, "We are chuffed, surprised and pleased. It's a nice situation to see motorcyclists in a positive light, and that recognized by royalty. Thinking that the Prime Minister sat down with the Queen and mentioned us is great, and to be invited to the coronation is the cherry on top." Speaking of the King's decision to invite the public to his coronation, Anthony, who also goes by the name Dutch, said, "In the end we are all human beings and part of a community. Anything that celebrates real people doing things in the community and helping their neighbors is positive, and we are happy to be part of it. We accept the invite, and our British Empire medals on behalf of the 1,400 volunteers who worked tirelessly for the Bike Shed Community Response and did so much for the country and community in that time." Gift horses made £2 million for Queen and Charles. King Charles and the late Queen Elizabeth reportedly made nearly £2 million from the sale of horses given as presents. The royals have received 41 horses as personal gifts, meaning the details do not have to be made public. But 29 have been sold at auction over the last 10 years, making £1.93 million, The Guardian said. Charles is said to have been selling some of the animals he inherited from his mother in recent months. The late Queen was known for her love of racing and breeding. It sparked a close friendship with UAE Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is thought to have given the Queen 34 horses. However, she refused to be pictured in public with the Sheikh after a high court custody battle revealed he abducted 2 daughters and intimidated his ex-wife, Princess Haya. Gold Cup winning estimate was a gift from the Aga Khan for Prince Shah Karim Al Husseini. Dunford stud, owned by Saudi Arabia's Prince Faisal, and Qatar's Al Thani family also presented the late Queen with horses. Buckingham Palace said, personal gifts given to Queen Elizabeth by those who knew her privately would remain private, as they would for any other individual. Kate, Windsor walkabout was hardest thing I've had to do. The Princess of Wales said her walkabout with Harry and Meghan after the Queen's death was one of the toughest ordeals she had to endure, according to a new book. Kate told a senior royal it was such a challenge because of the ill feeling between her and William and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, according to veteran correspondent Robert Jobson. His book, Our King, focuses on the war between the royal family and the Sussexes before, during and after Meghan and Harry stepped back from royal life. He writes, Catherine later admitted to a senior royal that, such was the ill feeling between the two couples, the joint walkabout was one of the hardest things she'd ever had to do. The Prince and Princess of Wales walkabout with Harry and Meghan took place at Windsor Castle 2 days after Queen Elizabeth, 96, died at Balmoral last September. At the time, it was claimed William had been looking to put on a show of unity. But Mr. Jobson said sources close to the royal family confirmed to him that it was an illusion. The book also looks at Charles's frustration at Harry's bad manners for overshadowing his 2016 Gulf tour by confirming his relationship with Meghan in a statement and calling for them to be left alone. The Queen was baffled by the Sussexes publicly speaking out against the royal family and branded their behaviour as quite mad, the book says. It also looks at how Charles and William could not run the risk of being alone with Harry again following the Sussexes' controversial Oprah Winfrey interview in March 2021. They decided they would no longer treat him as a trusted member of the royal family. Mr. Jobson's book also underlines the royal family's fears of Meghan being allowed to join, via video link from Canada, the so-called Sandringham Summit in January 2020, to thrash out details of the Sussexes' future. They also thought it would not be secure. Meanwhile, Kensington Palace has confirmed William and Kate will attend the Easter Sunday service at St George's Chapel in Windsor with their children. The Prince and Princess will be joined by Prince George, 9, Princess Charlotte, 7, and 4-year-old Prince Louis, who is due to make his debut at the church service. The plan has emerged after Buckingham Palace revealed that George will be one of King Charles's pages of honour at his grandfather's coronation on May 6. William, 40, and Kate, 41, are currently enjoying family time with George, Charlotte, and Louis, who attend Lambrook Prep School in Berks, during the Easter break.